Claire froze. Her fingers tightened around the steering wheel. The rearview mirror reflected an empty back seat, the worn leather upholstery, a folded blanket, her travel bag. Nothing else. She let out a slow breath. My nerves. Then, tap. Something lightly knocked against the driver's side window. Claire whipped her head toward it. No one, only the twisted branches of ancient cypress trees. She was about to drive on when the second knock came, this time from the passenger side. Tap, tap, as though a long fingernail were gently brushing the glass. A chill ran down her spine. She slammed her foot onto the accelerator. The car lurched forward, and in the same instant, every sound returned. The engine roared. The tires hummed again. Later, the trees began to thin. The road climbed to the crest of a hill. And there, rising above an endless sea of live oaks and magnolias, stood the manor. It was far larger than it had appeared in the photograph. 3 stories. Towering white columns darkened by time. A broad flight of stone steps. Wrought iron balconies. A roof of dark slate. The house looked as though its last restoration had been completed only yesterday. There were no broken... Not a single window in the enormous house stood open, despite the sweltering Louisiana afternoon. She pulled the car. A bronze plaque bore a single inscription. Quod meminit, vivit. Claire knew enough Latin to translate it. What remembers, lives. She had barely finished reading when the gates began to open on their own, without the slightest creak, slowly, deliberately, as though someone unseen were welcoming a long-awaited guest. The front door stood slightly open, not wide, just enough, as though someone had entered only moments before. Hello? Her voice echoed through the vast entrance hall. No one answered. She crossed the threshold cautiously, then stopped. The house smelled nothing like an abandoned mansion should. Not dampness, not mildew, not dust. Instead, the air carried the scent of old books, beeswax candles, cedar wood, and the faintest trace of jasmine. It smelled like a house that was still lived in. The entrance hall stood beside the staircase. Its pendulum swung steadily. Tick, tock, tick, tock. The hands pointed to exactly 3:17. Without thinking, Claire glanced at her wristwatch. 3:17. At that very moment, the pendulum stopped. The clock fell silent. An instant later, so did her watch. The second hand froze. Forever. Welcome home, Miss Sullivan. The man's voice came. Who sent the letter? He looked at her so intently that she felt suddenly uneasy. Not I. Then who did? The house. Claire let out a tired laugh. Listen, Mr. Ashcroft.